let's go. Jumbo everyone, my name is Chloe. I'm going to be your safari driver here today. Now a few safety reminders before we head into the reserve here. Please keep your hands, arms, legs, and feet in the vehicle at all times. And please stay seated at all times. That does mean when we are moving and when we are stopped as well. Now we are going to wait for the warden to give us the all clear to head on into the reserve here. If you do take a look above your heads there is going to be an animal spotting guide up there. That's going to be some of the animals that we might be able to see out there today. We might not see all of them, but we will see a good portion of them. Looks like we're about to get that all clear here. There we go. We're going to head into the Little Aturi Forest here. Now in the forest, these animals are on the more shy and more timid side of the animals. So they do like to stay a little bit more hidden and more camouflaged behind those trees and bushes here. Now I do see over on the right hand side there, that's going to be the okapi all the way in the back corner there with those striped legs. Now the okapi is the last known relative to the giraffe. Now the reason we know that is because of its long prehensile tongue that it will use to grab the leaves off of the trees in order to eat them, as well as their head shape there. Over on the left hand side, you're going to see these saddle-billed storks there, those black and white birds. Now the saddle-billed storks, they can actually stand at approximately 5 feet tall with a wingspan of 9 feet wide there. Now the width of their wingspan is almost the same width as the canopy above your heads there from left to right. Now if you did notice how that okapi had stripes on their legs, they'll use those stripes in order to camouflage and blend in with their surroundings if they really needed to. Now a lot of the animals in here have stripes on their bodies that they'll use quite often, and some use it more than others. Looks like we're going to see a few other animals up here, at least one of them that has those stripes. These are going to be the greater kudus up ahead here on the right hand side. Now the greater kudus, they are female greater kudus because they do not have horns. The males will have horns and the females do not. They are still antelope, they just don't have horns like all the other animals do. Now greater kudu are a very social animal. They're going to be in groups of 10 or less of them together at once, but mostly there's going to be the females together and then the males will be separated in their own bachelor groups there. Now we're going to be heading over to the Safi River here. Now in the Safi River, you're going to want to look in the water and around the water for these animals, because some of these animals like to stay submerged underneath the water, which makes it a little bit trickier for us to see them. Now once in a while they will pop their heads up to get that breath of air, so you want to keep an eye out just in case you catch it when they do that. Now over on the right hand side, there's a couple Nile hippopotamuses in the back corner over there, but you're also going to see the pink-backed pelicans, which are the ones with the gray and white feathers there. Now the pink-backed pelicans, they do have a pink back. They'll get more bright and more vibrant whenever it is mating season. Right now it's more of a light pink coloring. It's also covered by their wings a majority of the day as well, so it's sometimes a little trickier for us to see that pink coloring there. Now Nile hippopotamuses, they'll pretty much stay submerged underneath that water for a good portion of the day. And make sure that they do not get overheated so it keeps them nice and cool there. The rest of the Nile hippopotamuses are going to be on the left-hand side, all the way back by that rock wall next to that last waterfall all the way in the very back there. You can kind of see their back sticking up, or even their heads kind of coming up out of the water a little bit. It's a little tricky to see them against that rock wall back there though. They are trying to stay nice and cool there underneath that water. Now we're going to be heading over to the savannah here. Now in the savannah it is a lot easier to see these animals because it is more flat and more open of an area. It's also a lot wider of an area as well. So these animals love to use up every inch of the space that they have out here. Over on the right hand side, you are going to see there is a Maasai giraffe all the way in the very back corner. There's also a couple wildebeest back there as well with them. We'll see some more Maasai giraffe further up ahead here also, so don't worry if you can't get a good photo of that one back there. They are getting some leaves from that tree, it looks like. Now, Maasai giraffe, they are known to be the tallest land animals in the world. They can actually get up to 16 to 20 feet tall there. Now, if you take a look on the left-hand side, you'll see the African painted dogs over there. Now, the African painted dogs, they are called dogs, but they're not like our domestic dogs. They have their own canid family. They're also natural-born hunters as well. Now, that coloring on their fur helps them quite a lot when they're hunting because they're able to camouflage and blend in with their surroundings a little bit easier than everyone else can. Now we are going to be passing by some mounds here. These are termite mounds. Now they are abandoned termite mounds, so there is no termites in them. But these animals out here use these termite mounds as things like a scratching post or a lookout point as well for smaller animals so they can see over the tall grass whenever they need to. Now, if you ever wondered what the inside of a termite mound looked like, you can actually see one at the very beginning of the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. So I would recommend going and checking that out right after you get off the safari here today, because it is going to be right next to the exit. Trying to see those wildebeest there over on the right hand side, kind of in the back corner there. Now the wildebeest, they are a large migrating animal. They will migrate with up to 1.5 million of them together at once at peak migration time. Now they normally do that during the Great Migration, which is a migration that happens once a year. So whenever they're going and searching for some more water, some more food, and more resources, trying to find also a safer area for them to be in sometimes as well. You can see those Maasai giraffe kind of through the trees there. They're really enjoying the leaves over in those trees there today. It's also nice and shaded over there, so they're not in the heat too much right now. We're also going to see some springboks up here. These little tiny antelopes. antelope. They're walking around here getting some grass and leaves as well. Now they are full grown, so they will not get any bigger than they are right now. They do something called pronking though, which is a leaping, jumping motion. They'll actually go 6 feet straight up into the air and 13 feet forward. That's how they'll get from one point of the savanna to the next a little bit faster there. And if you do see the antelope that are kind of all the way in the very back there on the right, those are sable antelope. Now sable antelope, they will use those curved back horns to help them protect themselves from animals jumping on their backs. They're also the only antelope that will not run or hide from a fight. They will stand their ground and protect their family no matter the cost. Now we are going to be heading into elephant territory here because all these tree branches knocked over and trees knocked over. Because the African elephants, they are known to be the bulldozers of the savannah. So they do like to knock over a tree or two here and there just to make sure they have plenty of space to move around in their habitat. Now they are pretty smart animals, so they will knock those trees over as well to get any leaves or any nuts that they've missed from the tops of those trees as well. There's one right there, kind of getting some breakfast a little bit here. Now, African elephants, if you notice how they're flapping their ears forward and backwards there, that's actually them cooling down their body temperature. Because there's a thin piece of skin on the back side of their ears that holds a majority of their blood vessels. So whenever the wind goes through that back side of their ears, it helps them cool down their body temperature. They'll also use their trunks in order to cool down their body temperature as well by spraying themselves with water all over their bodies. Now once in a while they'll mix mud into that water, spray that mud over their bodies as well. It's actually quite helpful to them because their skin is very sensitive and delicate to the sun. So that mud actually protects their skin from the sun, kind of like how sunscreen protects our skin from the sun. Same way there. Same purpose and everything. Now, like I said, they are quite smart animals, so whenever they feel like the sun's getting a little bit hot on their skin, they'll go over to the water, mix together a little bit more mud there, and they'll put some more mud on their bodies there to make sure their skin is always protected 24/7. Now, if you did notice how that African elephant back there was all by themselves, that is because that is a male African elephant. Now, males are more territorial, so they will stay more secluded by themselves because they don't want to share space with anyone else. They also don't want to cross paths with anyone else either as they're walking around in their habitat. Now, female African elephants, on the other hand, are going to be in groups of 2 or more at once, especially with their offspring there. So if there is any babies in the group, all of those female African elephants will pitch in to help out as well. So if mom needs to go off, get some food, she can go off and get some food and know that the baby will be nice and safe with all those other African elephants there. Now we kind of saw one of these trees as we made our way into the savannah here today. These are going to be the baobab trees, these trees that kind of look like they're growing upside down. Now they are growing right side up. They are just known to be leafless trees for 9 months out of the year. Now during that time frame, they're actually storing and gathering up to thousands of gallons of water into those tree trunks there. Now these trees are quite helpful to the animals out here in the savannah because if there was ever a drought, these animals would still have a source of water to stay hydrated and stay cool with if they needed to. Now the way they get that water out of those trees is actually from the helping hand of African elephants. They'll actually poke holes in the side of those trees with their tusks in order to get that water to start flowing out. Now we are going to see the greater flamingos here. Now the greater flamingos, they eat brine shrimp, which has beta carotene in it, and that's what gives them that pink coloring to their feathers there. And if you do notice how some of them have some more white feathers, that is because whenever they hatch from their eggs, they are a gray color, and then they slowly make their way up to that pink color there as they eat more and more of that brine shrimp. Oh, it looks like there might be an animal in the middle of the road that's stopping us up ahead here. Now I am seeing some mud wallows as we make our way into this area here, which does make me think that we might be able to see some white rhinos up ahead here. Now white rhinos love to roll in that mud there. It actually helps them protect their skin from the sun as well. It also cools them off because that's nice cold water mixed with that mud there as well. So it cools off their body temperature there. Now they'll make sure that mud dries onto their body sometimes, and then they'll go around to any of the trees, tree branches, or even rocks and start scratching that mud off of themselves just to get any bugs or critters off of them that have been bothering them throughout the day, as well as just to get a really good itch in. You are going to see the cheetahs up ahead here over on the left-hand side, walking around a little bit. At least one of them right there walking around. Now the cheetahs, they are known to be the fastest land animals. They will go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Now they normally do that speed when they're hunting or if they're trying to get from one point to the next a little bit faster there. So most of the time they're going to be laying around or walking around, kind of scoping around the area. And then they'll normally lay down right after that because they know that they're nice and safe there. Now we're coming up to the Copia Rocks here. Now the Copia Rocks, this is where the lions usually like to hang out. Now lions are nocturnal animals, so they do sleep for 16 to 20 hours a day. So they are more active when it comes really early in the morning and really late in the evening. I do see a female lioness right out in front here. Now, female lionesses are the ones that do most of the hunting, while the males normally stay at home and take care of the cubs if there is any, as well as the rest of the pride. The male's going to be over on the other side of the female there, taking a nice little nap this morning. Now, you're also going to see over on the right-hand side, those are going to be the white rhinos I was talking about. Now the white rhinos, they can get up to 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Now they don't get their name because of their color, they actually get it because of their wide mouths, because in Afrikaans the word for wide is vite, V-I-T-E, and it just got mispronounced so many times that it became white. There's that male lion there. Now we're also going to see the other female lioness further up ahead here as well, up on the very tippy top of the rock. all the way up at the very top up there. There's the second female. Those white rhinos again here. You're also going to see a kind of a glimpse of the ostrich over by that green truck over there. They're getting a little snack from the keepers over there a little bit. Now that is a female ostrich because they have gray and white feathers. Males will have black and white feathers. Now you are going to see the ostrich eggs over on the right hand side as well, down on the ground. Now one of those eggs can actually get up to 3 pounds there. They also have a really strong shell to the point where a full grown human adult can actually stand on one of those eggs with all their body weight and they will not crack or break. Now we're coming to the end of our safari here today. We're coming up to the warden's post here, which is where the Nigerian dwarf goats are. Now they're great for producing milk as well as being pets. They will also eat any vegetation they find on the ground as well. To help save and protect these animals and their habitats, you can easily do so by always remembering your 3 R's. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Now one thing that you can recycle that will be really helpful to the environment as well as to many of these animals' habitats are your old electronics. That is because in our old electronics there is a mineral called coltan. Now coltan mining is happening every single day as we speak, and it is destroying and disrupting the elephants and the okapis' homes as well as many other animals. So the more that we donate and recycle those old electronics, the more we'll be able to reuse that coltan to make new ones, and then in time we'll be able to reduce the amount of coltan mining there is in the world.
Okay, then what was our other stuff?
Now, if there is any wilderness explorers here on my truck today, you have been riding symbol 1, SIMBA, and the number 1. That is the code word that you need to get that badge in your book on page 14 and 15. Now here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye because it is far too sad and far too final. We like to say Kuaharini, which means go well. So Kuaharini folks, and I hope you have a great rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Go out there, find some more animals and make a difference, my friends, and be that difference as well. My friends on that right hand side, please watch your hands, arms, legs, and feet. Those doors are going to be opening, and watch your step.